Antibiotics, antihistamines,
Yes, antibiotics a lot.
a lot of things, but they are not cured. More complications. It gets more chronic and more complicated.
Oh, yeah.
And they have spent more and more money, but no cure for these things. And then another feature what you find also in chronic patients with sulfur, there are rheumatic problems in the joints. In the articulations you have pains in the knees, in the elbows, in the ankles, in the shoulders, in the back, in the neck. So on all these articulations you have and suddenly they'll, for example, if he is walking, suddenly the joint is blocked. And it takes some time to release it again. So like this, sulfur has these tendencies.
It's a universal remedy.
Yes,
Is lumbago also about?
lumbago also, along with this. And while walking, after some time, the legs become very heavy. I cannot walk further.
Yeah.
And the knees and the elbows will be weak in chronic sulfur patient. The knees are not strong. The knee joints and the elbow joints, they are weak.
Standing is the worst position.
So he cannot stand for a long time. That is also one of the features you can observe a sulfur patient. If you ask him to stand for a while, for example, if he is a teacher, he has to stand, he cannot stand. Sulfur patient, impossible. He has to sit in the chair, or if it is compulsory that he has to write on the board or he has to stand, then he finds something to lean. Yes, he cannot stand. Impossible for a sulfur patient to stand long time.
Easily tired when walking, that's what you said.
While walking,
While walking,
Heavy
cannot
legs.
walk much, feel like sitting. You said it's sulfur also? Calcarea carb
it's sulfur and calcare carb also.
also?
There are many patients.
There are many.
Many. It's not a special, it's just an indication of
But
weakness.
on whole, if we see sulfur patient, the worst position is standing.
Standing.
All symptoms aggravates.
When he
When
stands, then
standing,
everything,
If he has headache or something,
all
some
his
pain,
problems are aggravated while standing. That is sulfur.
if that is there, then it is sulfur.
aggravating
So
when
sulfur is
standing.
not, standing is not good position for sulfur patient. That is why most of the time he will be in the armchair. He does not move. He will talk to you, he will discuss with you, but not moving. And another feature is that in chronic sulfur patient, from time to time, he feels that hot vapors are coming out from his head, from his eyes. They are not really vapors, but he is feeling flashes of heat coming out like this from his body, from his head, from his ears. He says, "Oh, I am getting very hot." Flashes from the ears. He feels as if hot vapors are coming out. And he feels burning sensation in the head, in the feet, in the palms. Because sulfur is one of the remedies having the sensation of burning. There is what is called the burning trio. There are many remedies which have burning, but very prominent remedies for burning. There are 3 remedies.
Apis?
No,
Sulfur,
burning trio.
arsenicum album,
Burning
phosphorus.
trio,
Sulfur?
sulfur,
Arsenicum album, phosphorus.
and arsenicum album. And phosphorus.
Yeah, I think I remember once I had a very bad throat ache, and I
Mm.
said it was like if it was burning, like
It was after
filled
India.
with acid, and was phosphorus. Yes.
Yeah.
After coming back from India.
And the other one I can.
It's phosphorus.
No, on the other side.
Arsenicum album.
Arsenicum.
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 Album.
These three are called the burning trio,
Ah,
because the intensity of burning sensation is more in these 3 remedies than other remedies. So often the sulfur person feels burning sensation in the feet, in the hands, in the head,
Skin.
also in the skin. So it is always uncomfortable.
Hmm.
That is why he is not he doesn't feel well all the time.
Hmm.
Because when you have burning sensation,
Yeah, yeah.
then you cannot feel comfortable. And another thing is that when he, suppose he holds something for some time, and afterwards you can see the hand becomes rough, red. The skin becomes, suppose he, for some time he leans like this, and then afterwards you can see that skin becomes red.
Hmm.
So these symptoms are also there in sulfur.
Hmm.
If he drives a bike
Yes,
holding
motorbike.
if he does it long time, like 1 hour like that, after that the whole thing will be red and
I see.
rough and red
Mhm.
and itching.
Mm.
So this is also a tendency in sulfur what you find. Sometimes, suppose if he is traveling with his briefcase, holding the briefcase
yeah.
for some hours,
Yeah.
then after coming home, even for 1 week it stays. This redness and roughness and all these things
Mhm.
for him. And regularly, if he has such, due to his job or something such he has to hold or he has to do, then after some years, 1 or 2 years, then the skin will become permanently hard at that place.
Eczema.
Is where- hard.
Uh-huh.
Like eczema.
And also many times when the shoe, because he wears the shoe, and when the shoe is rubbing,
Yeah.
then he gets very red and ulcerated.
It's called shoe bite remedy.
He receives shoe bites very easily.
Uh-huh.
It stays for many days. And then if he is not identified and cured, this tendency is there for some years, then what happens is some part of the body which is like that frequently gets hardened, and after 10 years or like that, then it becomes very hard. Then if he goes to the doctor, he says, oh, you have something problem, and then he takes a biopsy,
Mm-hmm.
and then it may turn into skin cancer like that. Because the surgeon fellow will not leave you until he makes it into cancer.
Yes, it's interesting to find cancer.
And so sulfur
Mhm.
tendency is there to develop into that.
It's interesting. Have to go and look, maybe you can find one. Then you have.
Sulfur is one of the very important remedies which can prevent you from getting into cancer if you identify properly, if you identify the symptoms of sulfur and treat the person, then you can prevent the person from getting into cancer. But you have to observe and identify the symptoms clearly. Then you can treat, and definitely you can, because if these tendencies are not cured in proper time, then after some years you will get into cancer. That is what Hahnemann says. If you cannot identify, so 7 years or 10 years afterwards it will be cancer.
Blood cancer with children also?
It can be. Because in children also you find symptoms of sulfur because they have inherited from the parents. So more and more cases are now increasing because of this. So those who have this tendency, wherever there is the skin due to some rubbing or some this thing, if it gets red and frequently, this is also an indication that such person may get into diabetes after some years.
And diabetes is mainly from bad diet, no?
No.
No?
No.
Diet?
No.
Diabetes
Uh-huh.
and diet?
No. It is because of this background miasm. So always that what you call diabetes is only a result, a manifestation. But before that, many years, these are all these miasms which are making all this. So it is not simply the diet. Controlling the diet is only to maintain, but not cure.
Okay.
Regulate.
Only to regulate, but you cannot
What
cure.
these people, what doctors in West now say is that because people eat too much sugar and too much fat, that they become diabetic.
But
Not
why
true.
the other people are also getting diabetic who are not eating sugar?
And they said people eat much more sugar nowadays than in the past. And there is so much more
That is lie.
people who are becoming
Diabetic.
diabetic.
That is lie.
That is not
Huh?
true.
That is not true.
But they make the link
Yeah.
between the quantity
Yeah.
of
Yes.
sugar and the,
To cover
and
the-
the, and the
No, I
disease.
think
That
we
is
have
our
to-
But the
link.
quantity of population
To cover
has
their
increased
ignorance.
also.
That
This
is
is
what they
it.
tell us.
I
Maybe
think this
some-
is intellectually blah
because
blah,
diabetes
Yeah.
is
To,
hypochondriasis,
as you say, to cover
il y a
their
le
so-called
stress
intelligence.
aussi,
To cover their ignorance,
Ouais.
they do all these things.
Yeah.
That is
à
not
cause de
the
l'effet,
reason.
c'est difficile.
That is not the reason.
I thought they know nothing.
So there's no link
That is only a triggering cause.
yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because they cannot
Ouais,
discriminate
the
between
sugar may
disease
precipitate
and
the
symptom.
symptoms.
So this is
Yeah,
the
because they are
problem.
using so much chemical stuff, they can get every any kind of disease nowadays. It is very easy.
Yes, it's very easy.
Diabetes is, what you call diabetes is only one manifestation, and that is the result of, on one side it is miasms, and other side all this chemicalization, what they are doing. In the food you have chemicals in,
Food.
One of the
Food.
best examples is headache.
yeah,
In classic homeopathy, I think we have about 40 different
for headache,
for headache.
more than 100.
Yeah, more than 100, you see. And what does the modern medicine do?
Yeah.
For them, headache is headache.
Yes.
So this shows that they're ignorant. They are totally ignorant.
Yes.
And they call disease only the laboratory findings.
Yeah.
That is only condition. That
They
is
call
not
they
disease.
call a person diabetic only when see in the blood the sugar is high. But that is not.
That is condition, huh? That
That's
is
only
not
condition.
disease. That is
Why there is sugar is high in the blood is because his body could not produce proper quantity of insulin.
Yeah.
But there is no answer why it is not producing insulin. If you ask, there is no answer. They say yes, it is not producing. So you give insulin from outside.
Mm.
Yes,
That
this
is
is
also chemical.
autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
Autoimmune disease.
Yes.
The
And
body
in the
is
labs-
is becoming distracted.
Because all these are interlinked forces which is.
destroying itself.
Yes.
But it doesn't explain
It doesn't
anything.
explain anything.
It's just interpretation. Huh?
It's only interpretation.
Yeah, and in the labs they manipulate the ciphers of the exams. You know,
The what?
les chiffres des examens.
Ah,
Ils manipulent à la hausse ou à la baisse.
ah oui, ça c'est aussi un truc. Interpret the results of the exams.
And also they do not have. If somebody eats
That's
today,
that's why the whole population of the world has cholesterol.
Because there's big business with
Yeah,
cholesterol.
yeah.
yeah.
They
If,
earn
if,
a lot
if I
of money.
eat cake today and go tomorrow for investigation, my blood sugar will be more. That is common sense.
And now at
They
present,
manipulate the,
another thing is
the
there.
numbers.
At present, there are another thing. Many of the pregnant women, during pregnancy, when they because they very often make blood investigation. that
Yes,
is the
yes, all
very-
the time.
all the time. And when they make investigation, then say, oh, now you have diabetes.
Uh-huh.
But she is not diabetic.
Mm.
During pregnancy, she got some disturbance, and this shows in the blood. It may be due to the medication what they have given, or it may be due to previous things. But it is not. But they put fear in them, and then they
Mhm.
start directly. They start
Mhm.
giving medicines for diabetes.
Yeah. We experienced this.
But
We saw this,
when
yeah.
we are studying in medical college, we have a rule. When we get investigation, we have to see, compare in the daily life if there is any change, and then we have to start treating. But nobody follows.
Immediately after looking into the investigation, then they start the treatment. But that is what is happening in present generation. Many women, when they are pregnant, are showing diabetic symptoms. But that is not real diabetes. But they are showing these symptoms, and this is because many women were wrongly given so many medicines, especially the hormonal medicines.
Well,
Yeah, for some.
The pill and all these things, the contraceptive pill and hormones, they
Yes.
create all disturbance.
and these young ladies, they are so ignorant. When one word from the doctor, then they have fear.
Yes.
And then this the manipulation. I saw
And
this
then
when
They
she
are
was
giving
pregnant.
insulin. Now insulin.
Immediately they want to have every 4 weeks this test.
Yes.
I said to Alice,
And echographies and
yeah,
so.
stop it. There was one invitation, and then they asked 400 or 500 francs for them.
Yes.
Every time, yes.
So then we said, no, let's stop.
When
this.
my son was born, for my wife, we are not allowed, not even once any ecography and all these things.
No, we also, we didn't do
We
anything.
didn't take anything.
Because if this is not a disease, pregnancy is a natural process.
You see how many times they take every
Yeah,
month.
but this is
Every
all
month they go
business.
to the
And now
echography.
twice in every month.
No.
No, it's
That is-
too much.
Yeah, they are making it.
I think here it's 3 times in the
No,
pregnancy.
every month.
Every month.
Every month after
I
the third
heard
month.
about 3 times.
No,
Once,
this is worse now.
3, 4, 5.
But this is new technology. It is more vibrations. Huh? They can see every part.
I haven't done it.
Je pense que c'est de
Yeah.
consommation, ça.
They are-
Bien sûr.
This diabetic is now many cases we are getting.
Also, this.
And people
Then you
just
remember
see-
that 5 years boy who was crying in Crimea.
In Crimea, we have seen this young boy
C'est ça, c'est ça.
with this
Victor Davidova.
Davidova family, this young boy.
Ah, yeah.
Diabetic.
Ah, yeah.
You have seen.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Moi, il me demande.
He was only
Yes.
5 years.
And they get every day 3 injections. No?
5
Si
injections.
vous voulez faire un vaccin.
So we
How many?
reduced 5 injections.
5.
We
Every day,
reduced
five.
it.
Du médecin qui font des vaccins.
5 injections of insulin every day
My
for this boy.
And he
And
looks so nice.
He was a very nice boy, but see, he was very. Every time when they have to give injection, he cries because it's
Yeah, yeah.
painful. We have seen Crimea, 5 years boy,
Uh-huh.
diabetic, and they gave every day 5 insulin injections, 5.
Where is it? Where
Crimea.
Rudolph, there is good news
In
that now he is
Crimea.
taking only 2 units in the morning, 2 units in the night.
No,
That is all.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is improving very fast.
Three
No.
times. 3 times a
5
day.
times?
5 times.
5.
Advanced case.
I made them to reduce it. Now it is only 2 times.
Ah.
I have eliminated this and 2 times only on treatment. And if,
Also, big
less.
doses we reduced. We
They can
advise
find
only.
the medicine.
Yeah, we have that medicine available.
The
Yeah.
homeopathy
Yes,
available.
all medicines are available.
Very better than Europe in these countries.
It is
Yeah.
better.
In Russia and Ukraine, good homeopathic
Good.
medicines are available.
Ah,
Yeah.
good.
But the Russians are much more open for this natural
Yes.
medicine.
Mm.
They are by nature much more closer to nature.
We got
by their nature.
recently we got one case, a newly born child. Just they brought in 2nd month, already diabetic, and they are giving insulin
Yes.
in,
Yeah.
in India.
It starts
yes,
from the
yes.
beginning, yes.
In India.
But why they give that? You would die without it?
Yes.
Because
Blood is
according to
viscous.
The blood becomes viscous if the more sugar is there, but they are giving. But you see, then you ask these fellows, the baby is not eating sugar, how can he get
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Then they have no answer.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Baby is not hardly taking some
No.
milk, but no, nothing else. And how can he be diabetic?
Well, because the sugar, the food gives sugar. Any food.
No, what if
But-
they have only milk
Except
from the mother?
Only milk from the mother.
Yes, but milk has sugar in it.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
So they will explain like this.
Yeah.
Everything is sugar.
They have started giving insulin to the child.
Yes, and they put a pump, a special pump,
Yes.
automatic pump.
So all these things are happening.
And you could cure. Or you
Yeah, we started the treatment and made them reduce this insulin
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, especially for a child, it should be
Yes.
easy, yeah.
And
After-
also when child is born
Oh.
and when he has some problem, daily 3 times they take blood from this
Small
Little
thing.
child.
small kid and it is horrible.
They want
And
to
he
test
develops anemia when he grows up, you know.
Yeah.
because the quantity of blood
No, they
is
don't take much.
child is. But
Usually
even
they-
then, 3
Yeah.
times a day they want to take the
Oh,
blood for testing.
Usually you do only the one drop.
But that
Is
is
enough?
but that
No.
is
5 ml I see with my sister's daughter.
How much? 5 milliliters?
5 million.
Yes.
Why? It's not necessary.
They
It
want
takes
to
so
do
much.
many tests.
So many tests.
Oh, it's a bit like a cobaye, yeah?
And every time they are prescribing 2 antibiotic pills.
Oh.
And when but only for infants they do only quarter. But another pill go to the pharmacy shop again and again next time they will prescribe it.
It's
That is the system.
all business.
Yes, it's really
Everything is spoiled, totally spoiled.
it's a pity for small.
Small children, how they are giving.
How could they diagnose diabetes?
Too much.
What was the symptoms in the beginning?
In the beginning. Now they are not. Now they make without anything also.
Without symptoms? declare it.
They take the blood and make all the analysis.
Yeah.
Without
You remember
symptoms.
that old lady, the old lady which we know, whom we know, she fell down and she has injury, and they made all the investigations and they put HIV,
They put
HIV.
AIDS for AIDS, but it is not necessary.
But
for her.
she was very
Age?
healthy.
HIV, AIDS, for the AIDS.
She had
She
AIDS.
was
No,
she
they
was
put
very
it
healthy.
in
She was never sick.
a list.
Only she had some injury.
It is very costly
And
test.
when we
Just
were,
to make the
we were
test,
just for a few
yes.
hours, we were not available, so they took her to the, and they could not control bleeding in the hospital. And we came back after 3 hours and they said, and we were rushed to the hospital. They could not, in these 3 hours, they could not even control the bleeding. Yeah? And we have given just one dose and bleeding stopped. Steph said they were given stopped. Yeah, bleeding stopped. And I said, oh, her bleeding stopped. Yes, I said. And then the doctor wrote so many tests and they want to take the blood. I said, stop. What for you have written? Then doctor said, yes, we are. I said, we are the family doctors of this lady. We don't accept all these things. He is ever sick. Why you do? Simply for injury, why you want to have AIDS and all these tests?
There are 14 different kinds of blood tests.
Oh, yes, there are
I said,
plenty.
no, we will take her away home. We will not allow all these things.
Yeah, and then they
And the
discovered.
doctors were angry, but said, we are
Uh-huh.
the
Yes, you are the
doctors.
family doctor.
You are the family
Why
doctors.
Staphylococcus?
Because bleeding is not stopping.
It's just China, not China.
No, Staphylococcus is.
When we have to start with hypericum. If the bleeding is not at all stopping, then that is
First we gave hypericum.
because that is due to shock. It is
Because
blood vessels.
Uh-huh.
So
China,
stop.
it is hemorrhagia, but not due
But
to
not
shock.
this.
Not due to shock.
Afterwards also she was never sick. Only that not the time.
And her memory is very sharp and very good.
She is 80 years, but she is very strong.
Mhm.
But these fellows, they cannot even understand this 80 years lady. She is never sick, and they want to make all the investigations.
Oh, good
No, but this is
business.
business.
It's
It's nothing.
If we are not in time there, definitely they would have done all these things.
Oh, yeah.
So luckily we
Yeah,
stopped.
it's like when you're pregnant, it's automatic to do all the tests.
Yes.
And a small child, it's automatic to do all the tests.
Yeah.
And
And
then
if
all,
you get an injury, it's automatic to do all the tests.
Well, but there it
Even
is
if you
more
don't
unusual.
have anything.
They would do this in Switzerland, to test a lady for injury, to test for AIDS.
HIV?
For AIDS? No, they wouldn't do.
that, where was that?
In
My
India.
place, my city.
Our place.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When profit goes before ethics, then we have situations like this.
and then also what you find in sulfur tendency is mostly more and more when it becomes chronic, he doesn't want to come out of the house.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
Isolation.
Yes.
mm.
So if he doesn't like to move out of the house and always keeping in the bed or sitting in the chair, and if you say, let us go out, have some walk, he says, oh, I'm not doing well, I don't feel
Not
like
today.
out.
Not today.
He avoids. So first it is mentally and then physically also becomes like that. Lazy and feeling of indisposition. He always feels he is not feeling well. So if you feel like that mentally always I am not feeling well, then you will definitely after some time your body will be like that. So therefore it is evident that the disease starts in the mind. And also he has no tendency to clean himself, to be clean, to be tidy, to be orderly,
Hygienic.
hygienic, orderly. This is discipline for sulfur. It's impossible.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes the the research scholars, the persons who do some scientific research, they get into sulfur. When they get into sulfur condition, so they are always confined to their research room where study and write and not coming out into the world. So then they go into sulfur condition.
Mm.
And how you will be, when you enter the room, you utterly disorderly. Some books are there, and some clothes here, and some clothes there. It's I tell you, once my father asked me to